A wide grin on the faces of lawmakers as they pass the Petroleum Industry Bill trapped in the National Assembly since 2008. House of Representatives shoots down request to lift Twitter ban in Nigeria. Also on the program,
I'm not really happy with the performance of that agency.
Olusegun Odebumi, sponsor of the bill to amend laws establishing the Nigerian Press Council and the Nigerian Broadcasting Commission, speaks to us about this very controversial piece of legislation. This is the Hallowed Chambers. I am Tijesu Adeoye. The National Assembly may still be basking in the euphoria of passing the Petroleum Industry Bill after more than a decade stalemate. But it is still not cheering news for everyone, especially the host communities, as the Senate slashed their share to 3%. The PIB seeks to introduce far-reaching reforms in the oil and gas industry. The bill aims at establishing good governance, best practices, and ease of doing business in the industry by clarifying roles and responsibilities of officials and institutions, enable frontier exploration, mandate improved environmental compliance, and transform NMPC into a commercially viable enterprise.
I don't see this as a stalemate at all. I agree this is democracy in action. Mr. President, we are now talking about a people that have sacrificed a lot for this country. Mr. President, no amount of percentage we put in this particular law that will be too much for these people we are talking about. You have, Mr. President, in 2012, you were seated somewhere there, and you were very passionate about what was happening in the Northeast region.
I brought emotion.
I almost wept. At the end of the day, the then presiding officer, Senator David Mark, had to invite you for a discussion because everybody was moved by your deep show of emotion.
You must first of all formally challenge the ruling before you can invoke the procedure. And I'm sure, wait, listen to me. And you know that procedurally in Parliament, you cannot jump the gun. And Sekibo knows that his own position does not conform with the intendment of the provision of that rule. He knows. Let me try my best to say that we must never exhibit to Nigerians that we are incapable of offering the desired leadership at this critical moment of our history. So to call for division
without any resistance. So this is the spirit that we need to continue with. So it is the right of every senator here to call for division. It's your right. But I want to appeal that what we have been educated about this afternoon or this morning by the GMD gives us better ideas. This 3%, I know, may not be exactly what some of our colleagues want. But what is of consolation is that movement.
The bill seeking to impose stiffer sanctions on persons found to be illegally in possession of firearms is awaiting the assent of President Muhammadu Buhari after it was passed by the Senate. The bill sponsored by Senator Obasani will curb the proliferation of illegal arms in the country, increase the fine and punishment for illegal importation and sales of firearms in Nigeria.
The Senate and the House of Reps have done a lot trying to support the government, particularly the customs and the immigration, toward trying to see that we secure our own borders. I think they are not complaining any longer, but the most important thing is that you have to try to stop the illegal circulation of these illegal firearms. And you made mention of why do we now give powers to the police, to the army, and other relevant security agencies the powers to confiscate those illegal weapons. But if you go to clause 5, also subsection 9, you also realize that we also made it clear that most of those that are serviceable firearms and those that are not serviceable but of military grade. So we separate them. Maybe you didn't go to those clauses. You will find out that we also agree that in some cases the National Security Advisor will be the one, his office, to oversee the destruction of those illegal firearms. But again, we also made provision where we allow the army to work closely with the civilian task force and other registered vigilante that can be allowed to use those military unserviceable weapons. At least that is the only way we can be able to achieve what we are trying to achieve, because most of those registered vigilantes are being funded by the government, but they have no powers to possess or to use firearms. So in this very important act which has been passed today, this bill, we have made some provisions and that was based on the recommendation of the Nigerian army.
A noisy argument erupted on the floor of the House of Representatives when some lawmakers tried to persuade the leadership of the parliament to call for a lifting of the ban on Twitter in Nigeria. The request was thrown out by the House leadership as they urged relevant government institutions such as NBC and NIGECOMSAT to be alive to their responsibilities to avert a future occurrence of the government and Twitter squabble.
There was a protest by PDP element over what has happened. Now that we have a legal framework that have exonerated the government, it was supposed to mention clearly that the government acted in good faith and in line with provision of so as a finding. These are the things that I thought we should be discussing, so that yes, we have done this, but the issue is that did the government act in good faith? Was it in line with the constitutional position? Yes, it's so. And these are the relevant positions.
Federal government should take into cognizance the negative effect of the Twitter suspension on Nigerians who depends on the platform for their livelihood. Take cognizance of what they are taking cognizance. So we should be responding to what the parliament have asked you to do. There should be a ban or no ban, and there should be an anchor, a basis for it. So the committee has not done a prudent work because they've not asked Parliament to take any resolution on this matter. So it speaks to no issue.
It's internet. So it must be handled delicately. The balance must be between national security and freedom of speech. And that is what the committee has tried to do. From when I read the recommendation, they were not on the side of government.
After the break, we will get into a conversation with the sponsor of the bill to amend laws establishing the Nigerian Press Council and the Nigerian Broadcasting Commission.
TVC News is our award-winning 24-hour national and international news channel headquartered here in Lagos, broadcasting live from our custom-built state-of-the-art news headquarters.
With news bureau and studios around the country and the ability to go live anywhere, anytime, we are first for breaking news in Nigeria. Awarded the NMMA TV Station of the Year, TVC News is the station of choice.
In Lagos, TVC, our leading family entertainment TV channel, has a 47% market share. But this is just the start of our journey, as we plan to add even more services to entertain and inform our ever-growing audience. Thanks for being part of the TVC communications story.
Joining us now is Honorable Olusegun Odebumi, the man in the eye of the storm, for sponsoring a bill to amend the laws establishing NBC and NBC. It's good to have you on the program. How did you conceive such a bill?
I have the privilege of serving this committee for the second time now. Press Council is one of the agencies under the supervision of this committee. My experience with that agency is as if the agency is not existing. And obviously, you know, on a yearly basis, there always be a fund given to them, either a capital project or for the personnel. For the years I've been in that committee, personally to me, I'm not really happy with the performance of that agency. Okay, what might be the problem? I'm aware they are in court for years now. Why are we in court? You are in the democratic era. And the Second World War, the First World War, after killings of innocent people, we end up in sitting on the round table to settle the matter. So that was my preaching in the last assembly. And there's no solution to it. So this assembly is okay, what is the bill? When I went through the existing bill, sir, we have been lucky that none of any government have used that bill, that existing act, to deal with any of you guys. If they want to judge any of you according to existing bill, sir, there will be a serious problem for the press. And what is the purpose of being the National Assembly? It's to look to create a platform whereby, because the law gave us the power to amend the law. And there's a process. Personally, I cannot sit down in my comfort room and say, I want to make law for this country. It's not possible, it's not done anywhere. And that is why the process is very clear. There must be public hearing. What are we getting in the public hearing? We are making the public hearing to gather the facts, to gather the information from the stakeholders. Wherever you think the bill is not okay, just point at it or submit a memorandum to expunge it. Whatever you think you can add to add value to the bill, then you bring it. And that is my intention. And I can say it loud and clear that there's nobody behind this bill. I have an independent minded on this bill. And I lay it for the public hearing, for the stakeholders to put their input so that we can have the best for this country. It's already existing bill. Go and check it. And mind you, there are many people in this profession. Even if you want to be talking about salary, are they well paid? Where would they rush to if there is problem? Even the organization you are working with, did they do anything against you? Do you have any place to run to fight for your cause? No. And that is what I'm calling for the stakeholders. Come together. Come up with a code that will be approved. So those sort of, the idea was the NBC has a code. There's a process to approve the code. All the stakeholders will come together before they can approve that code. So the code can be put together by the professional journalists based on what you think will be able to guide you, that protect even the voiceless among you. There are many voiceless. So the code will not be making by me. The code will be put together by the journalists. All the stakeholders will come together and put it together. Okay, these are the code you want. Then, all what I think we can be part of the bill that, okay, the press council will have a code. That code will be guiding, will sanitize the industry. That's all. I'm aware. That is my thinking. And if you identify the problem, your thinking alone cannot be the last solution to it. Other people will come together, put their own idea together before you can come. And that is the functions of the National Assembly. At the end of the day, the recommendation in the third column will be the recommendation to have a clean bill so that we can have a democratic act that will be guiding the process. The issue of the minister approving the code, yes, it's my thinking, but it's not compulsory. It is not mandated to be the part of the bill. If the stakeholder feel no, if you think in that way, the minister will have more influence over the something. Then we can come up with another idea of a board. Who are the board? Come up with the idea that who will be the members of the board. It's left. The bill is for any law. It's for the people. You deliberate on it that this bill, this act will be guiding us. After the agreement, they will process it. And this is a great privilege. We are equally beneficiary of democracy. And I pray to continue in this country. We should be doing everything humanly possible to safeguard this democracy.
That clause that makes the minister more powerful, are we expunging it from the bill? Because editors and CSOs and NGOs are demanding that you withdraw the bill.
It is not by personal bill. And I told you, I'm serving this nation in that capacity. If the journalists feel, if you think this is not okay for us, then we'll drop it. I'm not a journalist by profession, but I'm just privileged to be serving in this committee. And I think if I look back after my tenure in this office, I should be able to say, yes, I've done something right that can guide the situation. That is my honest opinion. And mind you, when you are in court for a matter, it's either way. If you think it will come in your favor and it comes negative, then what will be the next step after one? Then eventually you will come back to the process of the National Assembly. Because that's the only way to amend the law. You can take all the clauses in the bill, take it out, and replace with another new one. The moment you pass through the process, you are good to go. That is exactly what I'm saying.
So specifically speak to that issue of the minister becoming all powerful.
My brothers and sisters, I said the bill is under the process of public hearing, in which individuals will come together, stakeholders will say, okay, this is our idea, this is our idea. Then we will gather it together. It will determine whatever is coming out. If the majority of people said we don't want the minister to be approving the code, my dear brother, we can even extend it to the NBC. This is what you're supposed to be doing, which we must be done in order to have a very sanitized environment.
You spoke about not having any background as far as the media is concerned. How did the bill come by, and what do you think are some of the benefits of this bill?
That's what I'm saying. This is exactly what I've been saying. I have the privilege of serving this committee in the last assembly. Go and take I think I have it, the existing act. Is it friendly with the press? It's not. There's nothing new in that bill, except calling for review. Everything you see in that bill is already existing in the act, which to me is not palatable. that working on the bill will give us the privilege to look for the best way to go about it. Ask anybody in this assembly, I can never give down for anybody. My conscience is important to me.
Looking at the backlash and criticisms, do you regret sponsoring this bill?
Why will I have regrets? I don't. The fear of the people is that maybe somebody elsewhere is behind the bill. And I can beat my chest. I swear with everything I have. Nobody is behind the bill. It is my personal idea that the press council, like I told you, I have an experience of working with them. It's as good as they are not existing. Then why are they there? Then look, you need to go and check the existing act. Then you will appreciate what I'm bringing up to the table. What kind of privilege can we have again? Look into the heart and see whether it is good for you. Unless as you are here, unless you can tell me all is well for the industry, that nobody should do anything about it again.
Since the public hearing, what has been the thinking within the fold of your committee?
We are still in the stage of public hearing. We are waiting for you stakeholders to come and add value to it. We are looking up onto you to tell us what is right, what is your experience, what do you think should be in the act, so that the existing act can be repeated, can be taken out and give you the best one.
Is there a disagreement within members of your committee on this matter?
Because we don't have any predetermined matter on it. How can you have? If you have a meeting to have a predetermination on a matter, then you can have somebody who say, no, I disagree. So we don't have anything to say at the public hearing. We should listen to the people, the stakeholders, and give us what they want. Had they been after the public hearing now, and the stakeholders say this is what they want, this is what they want, and the committee said no, we are going this way, then there will be problem. But for now, the ball is in your court, the journalists.
Do you still have a window for people to make contributions?
Why not? I even make it clear on that very day. When somebody, I think he rose up and requested for maybe 2 or 3 weeks. I said it's granted, even if you want more than that. It is better to have the best instead of rushing to it. Have nothing to gain in rushing to making any conclusion on it. No, it's open. Even for another 4 weeks, it's open. It's still in the process of public hearing. In fact, I can say, even for now, the action is even suspended for us to have the decision of the stakeholders on the matter. That is it.
Speaking about the NBC amendment bill, there is a provisory in the bill that demands that a 30-day notice be issued before the NBC can be sued. Can you confirm this?
Yeah, Minister is part of the critical stakeholders on this matter. But the decision of the minister cannot supersede the decision of the stakeholders. Whatever in the bill, calling for 30 days before you can sue the NBC or not, it's all a proposal. You get me? It's a proposal in the bill. And that is why it is open for the public hearing. It's open for debate, and it is open for superior argument. My dear brother, I have nothing to gain personally than to have it done, get it right done. I want us to have the best by pulling together the best brain in this world, in this country, to give us the best. And this is the best time for you. The journalists have fought seriously for this democracy. But mind you, upon all, that bill is still an existing act. Then if you look at the environment, new things, a lot of things are coming up that maybe even the law even never think of some that are happening now. But with the critical stakeholders coming together, I think it is better to throw the ball to the court of the journalists that have your own code that will be guiding the process. Even if anybody has done anything wrong, we'll call on whoever is the leader.
That's it on our program this week. Do not forget to subscribe to TVC News YouTube channel to watch more episodes of the Halo Chambers. Also follow us on all our social media handles to get updates and breaking news from the Parliament. Thank you for watching. See you next time.